So, you want to make some footstep sounds, huh? Alright, I'll show ya. So, in the horror game I'm making called The Haunting of the Jora Family, which I have a whole bunch of devlogs for, you can actually see me working on a footstep sound effect thing. And believe it or not, this is it. This is literally it. Runs on a parallel process using a switch called Footsteps that can trigger on and off. And all it does is test if the player's current position, X and Y, is equal to a stored variable version of the player's X and Y. And if they're different, it means the player has moved, so play a sound effect. But worry not, if you don't understand, then that's what this tutorial is meant for, is to walk you through this process to understand the power of script calls and common events and the ability that RPG Maker has that no beginner knows exist. Only the most experienced of experienced developers, soon to be yourself, can understand and fathom the idea. Alright, enough goofing around. Let's go ahead and do this. So, in a brand new project folder, we are completely empty. We're going to right click, set starting position, player. Oh hey, it's me in some universe. Well, I am going to go ahead and create a new common event. It doesn't have to be 29. It could be any of these because it does trigger on a parallel process with a switch called Footsteps. But I'm going to call this Footsteps. And parallel, and as I promised, the switch, I shall toss it. Guess I'll just toss it here. Footsteps. Apply. Alright, so the idea here is that RPG Maker, the engine, is constantly tracking the player's position, their X and their Y. We can also manually track the X and Y using variables. So, control variable. I'll create a set down here called player foot X, copy paste player foot Y, and then I'm going to use foot X, okay, using game data, opening this, going to character, player, map X. So now, in this parallel process, it is constantly updating the variable of the player's X. And we're going to do the same thing for the Y. Bam. Boom. Bum. Now you're probably wondering, why would I do this? If the engine is automatically tracking, why do we also have to manually track it? And the reason for that is because we want to compare the player's actual position to their last known position. So to do that, we're going to create a conditional branch. And this is where the script calls come in. Money sign, game, uppercase P for player, dot X. And we want to see if it is no longer equal to game variables dot value. And that value, oopsies, I went a little bit too far. And that value is 99 because that is the X position. And we also want to make sure that their Y position is also no longer the same. So we're going to use this, which means OR in JavaScript. So we're going to grab all of this. Control copy, space, Control V for paste. It is 100, and this is player Y. So now, reading this, it is saying, does the player X, according to the engine, equal to the stored value of X, which we are manually tracking? Or, as long as the player's Y no longer equals the manual tracking of the Y, then we're going to do this on the inside. So as long as this condition is true, or this condition is true, then we're going to do stuff in here. What are we going to do? We're going to play a sound effect. Script. And don't mind me for being a bit of a loser, but I am just going to copy and paste it from my old folder. Paste. And you're probably wondering where I got this from. Well, there's actually a wonderful library down descriptions for a whole bunch of script calls. As much as I would love to say I created this, I most certainly did not. Instead, it's all the people that you see. Where are they? Aha, here they are. So, thank you, Arkea. Thank you, Catherine. Apologies if I butchered your names, but you guys are truly the hero of the RPG Maker MZ community. And the best part is that it's not just script calls, also useful consoles, quality of life, Visual Stella, event page script calls, and you could read the rest. But for the most part, if we need sound effects, we can just look for audio and video. Yeah, well, I guess those are kind of dead links now, but we can also just scroll down ourselves, or better yet, Control F SE for sound effect, but that gave us 1,000 hits. So play SE, bam, right here, and this is literally what I copy and paste. So have at it, explore, trial and error. You can see that a lot of these stuff are just these event commands, just allow you the flexibility of using variables to manipulate things, or other JavaScript unique items like using a random integer, which, by the way, let's go ahead and dissect this. So this is telling the engine to play a sound effect. The name of the sound effect is Footstep 5. It is, as a matter of fact, the name of a file that I imported into this engine, and I don't think it's actually in this RPG Maker, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it from my previous game. Alright, so with that said, we now have the sound effect Footstep 5. It exists. Here it is. Okay. Anyway, that's meant to be used for indoors. Definitely not for a grassy area, but I'm kind of lazy to go look for those sound effects. But what I will show you in this tutorial is varying with the different tiles, or what we will be using, tile IDs. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, so back into the database. So now we have a file named Footstep 5, and the best part is that you do not need the extension, such as .ogg, or perhaps something that we're most familiar with, .mp3, but do know that RPG Maker will only use .ogg. So make sure you are using a .ogg file, but you don't have to actually type out .ogg. Volume, we're taking a random number from 0 to, believe it or not, it's not 20. It's this number minus 1. So 0 to 19, and then we're adding 40. So our minimum number is 40, and our max number is it's 59. But I fixed it. And then for pitch, same thing. And then pan is left ear, right ear, but of course, I just wanted to be dead center. So one of the things that you guys will probably consider is, I want to use more than one sound file. This way I have variation. Well, believe it or not, I find that too many different sound files can actually cause the sound effects to get really muddled, and it sounds just atrocious. Though granted, it could just be me, so feel free to do however you like in your game. But the way that we variate the sound is through pitch. And once we start playtesting, you guys are going to see that it actually sounds pretty good. Now, there is one more thing I do want to change here, and it's to put these two inside the common event. The conditional branch, because we want to make sure that we're updating the stored version of X and Y when the player has moved. If the player has not moved and we're updating the X and Y, then guess what? We're doing the exact same thing as gameplayer.x, we're essentially saying, hey, does gameplayer.x equals gameplayer.x? In which case, yeah, it always will. So then this will never play. And just to prove that point, cut, paste, okay, Control R. Oh, we also have to turn on the switch. So I'm gonna just create one real quick. Turn on the switch, footsteps, on, erase event. And we also need to put this on auto run. Control R, save. So there you guys have it. No sounds, none whatsoever. And if we press F9, we could actually look at the current values. I think it was 9900. See? 7 and 5. So it is being updated. But we're not hearing anything. However, if I make the small change of putting it inside the conditional branch, your minds will be blown. Not really. Ta-da! See? So hopefully you guys figured out how this works, and if not, I will re-emphasize. Oh, I guess I haven't emphasized it yet, but RPG Maker, like pretty much all coding programs, moves from top to bottom. So if this is on the outside first, then guess what? It's updating it before it hits the conditional branch. If it's inside the conditional branch, then it's checking this condition. So at the very start, you're probably going to notice something, and it's that the sound effect plays before you move. So get ready for this. I'm going to hit the new game and listen carefully. Bam. Right there. And to some, you may not like that at all. And if that is the case, then all you got to do is inside these two, take these two variables, control copy, and before you turn it on, paste it. This way, the values are stored before you turn on the switch. And it's all equaled out. Ah. Oh. Yeah. Alright, so now the new thing. Can we do a sound effect based on what tile you're on? And the answer is absolutely yes. We gotta go to tile set. I think we're in the overworld. If we go into terrain tag, then we can change, I believe, oh god, which one am I using? I think I'm using this one. So this one can be 1, this one can be 2. What in the world is that ice one? Surely it's not this. This is clearly a mountain. Well, oh wait, this is supposed to be 2. Anyway, how about we just do these 2? So I'm gonna hit apply. Then we're gonna go into our common event, and on the very tippity top, we are going to create a new variable, and this one is going to be player foot region. And, well, I guess we didn't really need to create a variable because we're actually going to delete that variable. What we're actually going to use is get location info on page 3. And you want to store it in player foot region. And we're using the terrain tag. And we want the current map. However, we do want the player's current location. Here we are. Designated by character. Oh, I love this. This is new, by the way. This is in one of the later updates as of this year or last year. Something like that. Because I remember not seeing this before when I made the AI game. Anyway. Oh, and to be clear, not an AI game to market, but as an experiment to see what it could do at the time. Oh, and I guess I gotta clarify again, I'm not using AI in any of my commercially sold games, which also includes the current one I'm working on, The Haunting of the Geo Wilson Family. Now anyway, we're getting the info location, we're getting the region ID, and we just gotta throw out another conditional branch here. Conditional branch. If variable region ID is 0. We're gonna hit that else if branch, by the way. Apply. Take this, cut, paste. Haha, so it's gonna play that sound effect as long as it's 0, aka the grass. But copy, paste. If it's 1, we're now in the desert. And you know what deserts sound effects sound like? Well, why not? We're gonna use absorb. Absorb 1. Get rid of that. And then for region 2, which is a lighter sand, the sound effect shall be a bite representing shark bites. Ooh ah ah. Cut that out. Apply and hit OK. Oh, so I totally just realized I'm not in the overworld. I'm outside. So let's try this again. And I also noticed I got this flip-flopped. So this will probably be bite, and then this one will be the other sound. Here we go. And then snow. Well, we forsaken snow. So normal, and then it works! Oh my god, isn't this crazy? Yeah, that's it. If you do transfer between maps, such as transfer, and we'll just go here. Oh, actually, I'll just transfer them a little bit earlier. Boom. And we'll just do talking to the main character of the whole entire RPG Maker MZ franchise, or just title. We'll kill the play sound effect here. Just make sure that you do turn off the footstep sound effects here. Control switch, footsteps off, and then turn it back on right after. And then of course, if you do want to have the sounds not played upon entering a new location, then you want to do that. Alright, ready? Ready? Listen carefully. So I'm walking around, and then I'm gonna bump into him, he's gonna teleport me. Listen. No sound. But if you do want the sound to continue upon entering a new location, then you can honestly get rid of all this. Alright, get ready, get ready. Listen carefully. Boom. See? There you guys have it. Hopefully, you have learned the ways of reading top to bottom with RPG Maker and pretty much all things coding and eventing, so you should be able to figure this out without me explaining. There you guys go. Footstep sounds, all through the power of common events. Enjoy! If you enjoyed the video, a like would be very much appreciated, and other than that, please check out my game mode. It is called The Haunting of the Wilson Family. It's as scary as this, what you're seeing. But I would appreciate it very much if you did. Game pages down in the descriptions below, as well as the game devs. Please tune in. Alright, see you in the next one. Later. Ta-da! What you guys think? Not too shabby, eh? One thing I did was I did add a little bit of padding to that side, and same thing if it was on the other side. So, nice little padding there. And in case you guys are interested in how that's done, what you gotta do is hit